Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Comic Book Cove. I'm Tom Morris.
And I'm Josh Holderbaum.
And of course, this is Lady Margot Elise. This week, we are going to get right into the comic books with the multi-dimensional crossover mayhem because we've got a lot of comic books, a couple extra ones we're going to talk about. And so, this episode of Comic Book Cove, we're going to discuss the following titles. Aquaman number 15, Green Lanterns number 15, Justice League of America, The Rebirth number 1, He-Man and ThunderCats 3 and 4, Superman number 15, Justice League vs. Suicide Squad number 5, and Justice League number 13. And as always, spoilers ahead. Aquaman number 15, The Deluge finale. Aquaman and the Black Manta have their big climactic battle, it seems like, aboard the ship. Which begs a question that you talked about earlier. Aquaman was able to track it, but how did he truly track it?
That's a good question, because the last issue we had, he was getting attacked by the Aquamarines.
Yes.
He didn't seem to know Nemo was involved. He knew there was an organization behind it.
Yes.
He didn't know it was Nemo. He didn't seem to know it was Manta until the very end of that, when he broke into the ship and says, "Oh, it's you. That makes sense now."
Yes.
It's like, whoa, how did we get from point A to point B? Maybe he had all the fish in the sea tracking it. Maybe he was asking him, "Hey, have you seen any shadowy ships around?"
Right, I agree with you because that issue, Aquaman 14, he talked to, it was the one woman's father was part of Nemo. And I'm forgetting her name, but she helped him out in the past issues. And then he got a little bit of information, and then he found the ship. Where do we go? But I guess it's okay because they have their battle. And Black Manta ends up sacrificing himself, blows up the ship, and it looks like the Nemo threat is over. Here's my thought about this. I really like the issue. However, Nemo has been this clandestine group, secret organization for ages and ages. As soon as Black Manta takes control, they're dismantled. Or not probably truly dismantled, but the serious blow has been to them.
Yeah.
Not very good on Black Manta's part because he used the organization as his jealous rage against Aquaman. And Atlantis.
Yeah.
So he used it for his own benefit, and therefore the group suffered.
It seems like, though, if Nemo is really an organization that seemingly, they've said they control all the seas, and there's like a board of directors meeting they had. It seems like there would be other heads to lead this in Black Manta's stead.
Right.
But this is what happens when you kill evil Santa Claus.
Exactly.
The Fisher King is the former, the evil Santa Claus doesn't have a chance to come back and keep Nemo from falling apart. And what's cool was this is a really big fight between Manta and Aquaman. I mean, this felt like, as I was reading it, it's like one of those big climactic superhero movie final battles where, they're going through walls and they're, smashing each other into everything. And then to see Nemo, to see Manta blow himself up, it's like, whoa, really? I mean, that's the top Aquaman villain, in my opinion. I mean, he's got like Ocean Master and some others, but I mean, Black Manta's the villain for Aquaman. So it's like, is he gonna come back? Could he fake that somehow? Could Aquaman have run away when he pulled it out? Oh, I better get away from that. And then Manta gets a chance to sneak out. But
that was intense. I also like, equally intense, was after the fight, we get a little bit of commentary during the fight, and we find out Aquaman's talking to the president, Barack Obama. And I thought that was very well done. Aquaman's speech, he has Superman right beside him, and it's like a standoff in the Oval Office because you have the Secret Service pulling the guns on Aquaman, Superman just sitting there, Aquaman talking right to the president, saying, if I wanted to, I could have killed you, but I'm not here to that. I'm here to tell you about Nemo, tell you about the secret organization. I've kind of, crippled them, but they're not down and out. You need to alert the United Nations. Then he did something you thought was very symbolic.
Yeah, he drops the Trident of Neptune right on Obama's desk. And he doesn't, in the rest of that issue, when he walks out with Superman, he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, did he leave it with the president? I mean, does the president of the United States now have the right to rule the seven seas? But yeah, it was really cool, and to have Manta's helmet. on the table too. I mean, or what's left of his helmet too. That was really cool. Yeah, and it is really scary too, because that's a lot of tension there, because he does mention the Aquamarines. I mean, they were sent in pretty much just like SEAL Team 6. Personally, I think they should have called them Shark Team 6. I think that would have been the best name for it. But, and he does compare that to sending in, a squad to take out the leader of a rogue nation. I mean, that's like what's happened before in politics in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Superman walks out with Aquaman, and they're talking, and it really feels like they've connected again. Aquaman tells Superman, I couldn't do what you could do, and blah, blah, and they talk. Superman gives Aquaman a new Justice League membership card because he heard he lost the last one, which the last one's floating out in space. But everything was poignant.
Yeah.
And then after that, we see Aquaman is talking with, was it Defense Secretary Gentry or something? I forget which one.
Yeah.
And they were talking, they're at the podium. Atlantis is going to be allowed in the United Nations, and everything seems to be good. Down in Atlantis, Mira is still haunted by the vision that they saw of her. So it just seems like this issue was a wrapping up the story arc. And then at the very end, of course, we see on the shore with all the wreckage, Blackjack, who was the one that recruited Black Manta into Nemo. She's out on the beach. She's still alive. So we know that Nemo is not completely out of it.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if she's going to come back and kind of maybe do some villainy in Black Manta's stead if he stays dead. And one of the other things I thought of is in DC Rebirth #1, we see Jackson Hyde, who in the Brightest Day story arc becomes the new Aqualad. He's was Black Manta's son. Spoiler alert, which they try to keep secret for so long. But it makes me wonder, when is he going to show up? Is he going to? It seems like he would be in the pages of Aquaman, but he could also end up as a Teen Titan or some other team. But he has to show up at some point.
Yes,
because that's been in the back of my head since we read that. It's like, where is Jackson Hyde so far? Well, they'll get to it.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
There's a lot of story left in Aquaman. I'm going to say out on a limb that Aquaman's been a very consistent, very great read from Rebirth, from beginning to end. Right now, this first, I feel like it's the first story arc, 1 through 15, really great. If you haven't had a chance to read them yet, I definitely would suggest reading it, looking for the trade paperbacks when they come out, or borrowing your friends, something. But definitely read this, because it really had a lot of political intrigue and a lot of action, and kind of reaffirming Aquaman and Atlantis's commitment in the DC universe, where they sit and where they view each other.
Yeah, and helping to validate Atlantis as a nation in the DC universe. It's not just Aquaman's city, it is a nation with bigger political ramifications.
Yeah, very good read. Aquaman #15, the series in general, we can't recommend it enough. Green Lanterns #15, A Day in the Life. Josh, what did you think about this issue?
Well, this is a funny issue because we get to see it told from Jessica's perspective, and we get to see her going through her duties as a Green Lantern and as a Justice League member, and at the same time she's comparing that to how she's just trying to get out of bed in the morning every day. And here she is fighting a giant golden sea monster, and one who's fought Green Lantern before, and doing all these things, and even showing up Superman at one point. And she's still really troubled with this anxiety that her entire character is really built around.
It was a great issue for me to read, because there are a lot of people that suffer from anxiety, and it was kind of like a public service announcement in a cool way of showing the DC character, Green Lantern. You'd think just because they have the ring on with willpower that they don't have any issues, but as you said, Jessica, her day-to-day struggle, where she talks about, I could capture a submarine, no problem. I can do this, no problem. I can do all this other galactic world, no problem. Getting out of bed for me is a problem. I have a challenge with that. It just really shows that for a lot of people, anxiety is real. And how she copes with it is having her teammates around her, her friends, having that support group with her sister. And she starts to know that she if she gets swallowed by the anxiety, she can fight it off by being, by facing her fear. Well, I really thought that was a really great issue.
Yep.
And then there wasn't a lot of action in it, but there was a statement made with it that this was we got to know this character a lot more.
Yep, and we get to really see that Simon is really becoming one of her big support groups.
Yes.
I mean, they meet for pancakes.
Yeah,
and they live
cool.
on opposite sides of the nation.
Yep.
Which is funny because it did make me think, like, wait a minute, he's in Dearborn, she's in Portland.
Yep.
They meet for pancakes.
He flies to her.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when Batman calls, she says, Batman, we got pancakes, want to come?
Yes.
Which makes Jessica the most lovable DC character they have.
It was cool because Simon knew that something was going on, and he was thinking, I need to help her. How can I help her? She's struggling to get out of bed. When she finally does, Simon's in the kitchen making her pancakes, making her breakfast, saying, hey, you can't fight this on an empty stomach and you can't fight this alone. It was cool. Yeah. I really like the issue. You're reading it because sometimes you get those intergalactic battles. You get this outer space. The Green Lanterns are the space cops. But when they bring it down to Earth, sometimes these stories are a lot more epic in scope than when we get the big outer space Sinestros battles. Not saying they're any different, they're just more grounded.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the very end, Batman pops up, says, hey, I loved, you two really, especially Jessica, you really handled yourselves very well the other day. And there's a case that I've been working on and I really need you to help out. And she said something too, like, does that mean we're cool or something? Or something to that effect, and he says, let's hurry up and get to Gotham.
Yeah.
So you speculated what that next story arc might be because the title of the next one's called Darkest Nights.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder if Batman needs two people who can overcome fear, is that going to involve Scarecrow?
Yes.
Somehow, because Scarecrow's known for his fear gas and that sort of thing. So it makes me wonder if he would be involved in that. But in speaking of battles down to earth, really the biggest battle we get in this is Jessica and Simon versus the Gambler. The Gambler makes an appearance.
Not Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, no. Although I was reciting some of those lyrics in my head, and it's weird because Jessica gets completely frozen by the Gambler.
Yes.
I mean, she's trying to figure out why is he here? Why is he dressed like that? Why is he acting like this? Why is he a villain like that? And I think it kind of made me laugh too, because eventually the Gambler takes advantage of that. He hits her from behind.
Yes.
And it just made me laugh because part of me thinks maybe she's wondering why is the Gambler in this issue. That's what I was saying. Like, whoa, the Gambler's in this issue? Why is he here?
The panels that they showed of the Gambler, she was getting she was having an anxiety attack because of his gaudy belt buckle, the gaudiness on his gun, all his metal gaudiness was triggering. It was triggering her anxiety.
Yeah.
She could and then she said when Simon was saying, really, another panic attack? Before he kind of understood what was going on, she said that, what I said earlier about little things trigger it. This guy, the Gambler, and his gaudiness, it triggered the... So if you want to be a villain and you want to get ahead, wear some gaudy outfit.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because it seems to be kind of a recurring theme in DC Rebirth. Is we've had the Gambler, we've had Colonel Blimp, we've had Captain Stingery, we've had Kite Man a couple times so far. It's just all these really weird villains coming out of the woodwork. I mean, we had Black Scorpion in the first All-Star Batman, and he got his butt handed to him. It's just this funny, weird, recurring thing. Like, so good thing she had to go up against the Gambler, not like Colonel Blimp or something.
Right.
She would have really had a panic attack at that.
Yeah, that was funny, and at the same time very informative. But the gaudy Gambler.
Yeah.
And then Simon just, when he's coming back, he's like, not now. It knocks him out with a boxing glove.
Yeah, because he comes up behind him with a knife and like, not today. And knocks him out. Yeah.
Great issue with Green Lantern number 15. Nice to get a little bit more into Jessica Cruz's anxiety, her disability, and just seeing how she's able to overcome it. Very strong issue. And with that, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to discuss Justice League of America, The Ray Rebirth number 1, and He-Man ThunderCats number 3 and 4. We'll be back in just a moment.